June 22nd, 2023. After several days of intense searching by naval and coast guard authorities from Canada and the United States, news broke confirming that, as feared, the OceanGate Titan submarine that had gone missing 4 days earlier had been destroyed following a catastrophic loss of pressure before it had even reached the wreck of the Titanic, its planned destination. The 5 passengers on board were all dead. However, soon after the news broke, people started emerging with similar claims. The sub wasn't safe, and this was a tragedy that could have been avoided if the safety of the Titan submarine had been examined in more detail. Today, we'll explore the tragedy and those claims, and try to understand if this disaster really was avoidable. On June 18th, 4 adventurous passengers boarded the OceanGate Titan submersible to go on a once-in-a-lifetime trip to visit the wreck of the Titanic at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. The tickets for such a rare experience didn't come cheap either, costing over $300,000 each to make the perilous journey to the ocean bed. But being able to say you've seen the wreckage of the Titanic, something so notorious and something so historic, is priceless for those interested in the sinking event that took place over 100 years ago. So, the 4 men and the pilot set off at 9:30 a.m. local time on June 18th. Contact is expected with the mothership every 15 minutes throughout the journey. The Polar Prince, on the surface, received those routine check-in communications until 11:15 a.m. After that, radio silence. The alarm bells went off straight away, and the crew of the Polar Prince waited, hoping to see the submersible return to the surface, praying that the problem was a communications issue and nothing more serious. It was due to reach the ocean surface again at 4:30 p.m. When, by 7:10 p.m., there was no sign of the Titan, the Polar Prince informed the U.S. Coast Guard of the incident. The U.S. Coast Guard, Canadian Coast Guard, and the U.S. Navy were all brought in, and a search began for the missing vessel. After 4 days of frantic searching, with the understanding that the oxygen supply would be running out, and the world's media focused on the developing crisis, the news broke that the debris had been found on the ocean floor nearby to the Titanic wreck, and all signs pointed to an implosion caused by a loss of pressure. Sure enough, when the US Navy went back over their ultrasonic ocean monitoring from the day that the sub went missing, around the time the communications were lost, they had detected a sound wave consistent with an implosion in the vicinity. 5 men had lost their lives, and they never reached their destination. A loss of pressure had caused the submarine to implode under the immense water pressure of the deep ocean. The 4 passengers were British-Pakistani businessman Shahzadi Dawood and his 17-year-old son, Sulman. The submersible pilot, Paul Henry Nergalot of France, CEO of OceanGate Expeditions, Stockton Rush, and British billionaire and pilot Hamish Harding. This is a tragic loss of life, no matter which way you look at it, and it's hard not to feel deep sorrow for the mourning families during such a difficult time. Nobody expected to be saying goodbye to their loved ones for the last time the day before they began the dive. Whilst no journey to the depths that they were diving is ever without risk, the ocean is always a dangerous place, even on the surface. The reports that came from the families and the loved ones indicated that the men were happy with the safety of the Titan submersible, even though it was still a working prototype. However, there have been many voices since the news of the disaster broke, saying that the dangers were known of and that the sub shouldn't have been allowed to take paying clients due to those safety concerns. The first thing to go viral when the Titan sub went missing on June 18th was a report from journalist David Pogue from 2022. He had been on board the Titan on a similar Titanic wreck dive when they lost communications with the mothership on the surface. He had appeared on a CBS News show to tell them about his experience and noted several things that did not seem very professional about the structure of the sub or the method of steering, which was a $30 Logitech gaming controller that anyone can purchase from Amazon. It's worth noting that many modern vehicles use similar methods, but you would perhaps expect a sub that costs over $300,000 a ticket to ride on might use something a bit more expensive. There was also 2 further incidents in 2022, both documented and officially filed. The Marine Technology Society had also raised concerns in the past about the potential safety issues with the Titan submersible. One of OceanGate's employees was sued in 2018 over concerns they raised over the safety of the Titan sub, David Lockridge was their head of marine operations at the time, and this was shut down in a lawsuit. He believed that further external checks should be carried out on the sub before manned missions took place, questioning the integrity of the hull structure amongst other things. One of the loudest voices in the time since the disaster has been James Cameron. The Hollywood director of The Titanic, one of the most successful movies of all time, dove to the wreck on multiple occasions, but has said clearly that he would never have done so on the Titan. He claims that he was aware of the safety concerns, and why those concerns were being voiced as someone that has been on this type of vessel many times, and that if OceanGate had paid attention to those concerns, those men may have not lost their lives. The CEO of OceanGate, Stockton Rush, was one of the 4 men who passed away on the Titanic expedition, had always dismissed the idea that there were any safety risks around the Titan. The BBC went back and reviewed emails from 2018 between Rush and Rob McCallum, an expert on this type of expedition. McCallum raised concerns about the safety of the Titan and said, quote, "I think you are potentially placing yourself and your clients in a dangerous dynamic," end quote. Rush became defensive, writing that industry players were trying to use an argument of safety to halt innovation, stating, quote, "Since Guillermo and I started OceanGate, we have heard the baseless cries of, 'You are going to kill someone,' way too often. I take this as a serious personal insult," end quote, Rush said, referring to the OceanGate co-founder, Guillermo Scholin. So there you have it. The evidence does begin to ramp up. On the surface, it seems that the ego of Stockton Rush and his business associates over OceanGate's innovative designs might have just cost him his own life, along with that of 4 others. Concerns have been communicated by people at all levels of expertise in the field for a number of years, and OceanGate had maintained that their own safety checks were sufficient and that the sub was safe to take passengers to the ocean floor. It remains to be seen what the authorities will decide, but investigations are already underway by both the US and Canadian travel authorities. Time will tell if this truly was a freak accident that could have happened to any vessel, and just, unfortunately, happened to Titan, or whether OceanGate are culpable for the deaths of 5 people because they didn't make the Titan safe. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy current event content. Remember to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future videos.